You're listening to the World's Team Podcast. It's not just America's team, Cowboys Nation. It's the world's team. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
How about them Cowboys?
What is up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the World's Team Podcast. Remember, it's not just America's team, it is the World's Team. Sponsored by Cowboys Experience and brought to you by the Believe Network. I am your host, Paul Stewart, and joined with me, as always, is Mr. Mike Poland. How are we doing, man? Bit of a quiet spell we're in right now, isn't it?
I know, yeah. We was struggling for content. We got ideas now for everything, but yeah, and I think as well, the little bit of the heat wave that we were having is making everyone a bit lethargic.
Yeah, well, I'm a wee bit fit to that. I had a little barbecue, maybe had a beer with my mum and dad earlier. So if words do kind of sound a little bit blurry, I will blame it on that.
There we go.
But yeah, the sunshine is out glorious here all across the UK right now.
Yeah.
Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend out there in the world, whether you're in Europe, you're in the US, or Canada, or Mexico, wherever you are. Just remember, it's always the world's team. But yeah, Mike, what do we have in store for this week's episode?
I was thinking of backup positions. So what I thought more specifically, so backup quarterback, it's not really I feel talking about that is jinxing things. So I'd rather stay away from the backup quarterback conversation. But let's talk specifically, because we know who wide receiver 1 and 2 are. We kind of pretty much feel this Ryan Flanoy is wide receiver 3. Yeah. Smattering in Cavante Turpin and insert here for the next wide receiver on that list. But I think on the offense, the biggest question, I think, or the best question to ask is, who is RB2? Because at the moment, I feel that's one of the big, wide open positions on this roster right now, when you go through it.
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, what do we have right now? So obviously, Javonte Williams is our starting running back.
Locked in.
Yeah, absolutely locked in. For 3 years, we've got him locked in, which is great. Really happy about that. Make no mistake, Cowboys Nation, I am thrilled about that.
Yeah.
But if we're going in that direction of, like, okay, who comes in for Williams when he needs a bit of a rest from like X amount, like take a series out, for example, who's the next guy up? Is it Malik Davis? Is it Jaden Blue? Or is it Phil Maffa? Now, every single one of those guys are basically up for that starting second, like that backup role, that RB number 2. Like, and I don't know about you, Mike, but Jaden Blue is definitely falling off the radar in my personal opinion. It really has.
Yeah, this is why this question is so interesting and polarizing, because it's what is going on with Malik Davis and Jaden Blue, both of them. And look, don't get me wrong, love what we saw with Malik Davis. He's very much at the moment, the way it looks on the depth chart as is listed right now, Malik Davis is RB2, Jaden Blue is 3rd, Phil Maffa is 4th. And you kind of look at that and go, on paper, that looks perfectly fine. What the question is how these guys over the off season, getting into camp, have developed. The real, what the wild card here is really is Jaden Blue. And I know what you're saying. Completely there, like the coaches seem to have fallen off a little bit with him. And what we saw in his rookie season, it was, you can speculate about what the issues were. The issue that I have is that I think when you look at what you want from an RB2, you want them to be like you want it to be shock and awe, right? So if Jaden Blue has developed high enough and is good enough, he is your awe to Javonte Williams' shock. He's so fast, the acceleration, he's a home run hitter. when you look at it. But the problems that you have with Blue are what we saw last season: the hesitation, the lack of decisiveness with his runs, and then obviously there's, the ball security issues. Like, there is nothing worse with a running back with spilling up the ball. I had a Rams fan talk to me about Kyron Williams, and he's like, I don't get why this guy isn't talked about enough. Like, look at his yards over the last 3 years. Look at his touchdowns. He's one of the only running backs that's done this. That I'm like, yeah, the reasons he's not talked about enough is because he ranks second in that same time frame in fumbles, and because you don't want your running back to spill the ball.
No, true.
And this is where it becomes a very odd question to ask. Because how do you feel? What do you think on Malik Davis in general if he was to come in and be your RB2? Like, there's a two-part question that comes towards this. But what's your thoughts with Malik Davis?
With Malik Davis, it kind of feels like we're kind of going into that cycle of Rico Dowdle, a guy that was in the fringes for quite some time, and he's had his moments on the team and really stood out. And out of nowhere, where, like, I'm using Rico Dowdle as an example here. I remember our good friend Brian Broaddus mentioned, like, yeah, Rico Dowdle is literally going to be your RB1 or RB2. And we were like, really?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got that same feeling towards Malik Davis in that regard. I think he would, and I can actually hear your bottle crackling about.
Sorry. I was having a quick slurp. It's hot in you.
Yeah, so I've got that same general feeling of Malik Davis, like a guy that knows our system pretty much inside out.
There you go.
Like, that to me is the big plus sign.
Been around the building a while.
Yeah, he's went from being cut back to practice squad, being back in the team again, being cut back again. Like, he's been all over the place. I think he deserves his flowers to kind of give him a good study opportunity and see what he can actually do. And yeah, I mean, if Rico Dowdle can do it, then why can't Malik Davis can do it?
Yeah. I mean, like, you made it perfectly. The argument with Davis is really simple. It's trust. And when you look at all the running, I say all, we exclude Williams yet, between the three running backs, and I know there's the rookie as well. Okay, we can cover him in a moment because I think he's a camp body. So what you look with Davis is it's a very simple question or argument where it's trust. Like you say, I mean, put it this way: coaches love backs that know where to be. They know exactly where they're supposed to be, what their protection rules are, and understand the playbook. Davis does that better than between the three running backs in contention for RB2. The issue with Davis is if you look between Davis, Blue, and Maffa, he's probably the least explosive. He is. I don't care what people say in terms of speed, acceleration. You talk about Maffa being the power truck. Davis is the least out of all of them.
And yeah, and some of I can agree with, but when there's some type, like, in some scenarios that doesn't really play in consideration when it comes to the coaches, because if they can run the playbook and actually run it very well, there's little need of that explosiveness. If you can put yourself in the right position in terms of hitting the right gaps at the right time, then that's your guy. Like, you could have all the explosiveness in the world, but if you're not hitting your gaps, you're not hitting your assignments properly, then that's on you.
That's the issue with Blue. Yeah. And so, like, the way I see it is, I think, and this is a very, very good idea to look at it. I think Davis has the lowest ceiling, but the highest floor at the RB2 position, where Blue has the lower floor, but the higher ceiling. So it's all about where the floor becomes with Jaden Blue when we see him at training camp? Has he raised that floor? And where is Malik Davis's ceiling?
Well, that's the question, Mike. Because obviously we wouldn't know till camp or OTAs. We wouldn't get a glimpse of that being materializing in any way, shape, or form. But I would like to think that Jaden Blue has taken a massive strides to really, like, because he must realize that last year was an absolute doozy. It really was. So he needs to come back this season and rectify and show the coaches why they made the choice by drafting up to get him last year. So I hope he's on par. I hope I hope he's on form. He's making the right decisions in terms of getting in preparation for this upcoming season. As is Malik Davis, I want to see that fierce competitive battle for RB2. I really do. And let's not forget about Phil Maffa.
Phil Maffa, of course.
Like, I'm a big fan of Phil Maffa. I really am. It's just an absolute shame that he just never really featured.
Yeah.
Whether that was down to injury or whatever, it's just unfortunate. Like, and the thing for me, but at least I know where Phil Maffa would sit in this football team. He would be your third down back and short yardage guy.
Red zone guy, yeah.
Yeah. That's primarily where you would utilize Phil Maffa. I don't see the Cowboys using RB2 on Maffa in the same way they would kind of did with like Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard. I wouldn't see that at all. It would be purely situational based as a third down back. Like you would have Williams really running the gauntlet. You would have in the support from like Davis or Blue, but when you're in the red zone, if you want someone you can trust that can really lay down the hammer and really stamp on an authority on defenses by breaking tackles in a really short yardage, that's your guy, is Phil Maffa.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's what Phil Maffa brings that obviously Blue and certainly Davis don't have, is Phil Maffa's 6 foot, over 230 pounds. Like, that's a big lad when he's carrying the ball back there. And we've seen the effects of that in the final game of last season when you watched him. He gets the ball, there's 3 defenders clinging on to him, and he's still striding forward, getting those extra yards.
That's the most important thing, mate, is the feet keeps on moving until the whistle's blown.
He keeps churning. And when he goes down, he's not falling backwards. He's falling forward with the ball, and you see that. And I know something like he only had 5 carries for like 18 yards last season. Still scored a touchdown, mind you. Mm-hmm. But it was interesting to see. But I think really the case in point here for RB2 is the battles between Davis and Blue. And it's all about what it becomes. Now, there is 2 more arguments to be made here. Is what if the RB2 position isn't necessarily as conventional as we think it's going to be? What if they make the RB2 position, that becomes your committee position? So all 3 running backs end up being on the roster, and you've got Maffa as your closer on the 4-minute drill. Blue is your change of pace guy, and Davis is a guy who you put in to spell Williams in mid-game just to give him a breather.
I actually quite like that idea, if I'm being perfectly honest with you.
That's how I think.
And not just that, it would give defenses a lot more to think about. Like, obviously, it might be a little bit more obvious when you put Phil Maffa in particularly. At least you know what's going to happen. Like, you can defend, you can line up and try and defend that as much as you can.
Yeah.
But it's the tandem between Blue or Davis that could be like the guessing game from a defensive side of the ball perspective. So, but I do like that idea that adding variation. Like, obviously, your bell cow is going to be Williams, and I like that idea. Like, RB2 is now going to be literally your running back by committee, which we did try to run before with RB1, and it just obviously did not work.
Yeah.
And but as our RB2 running it by committee, I would be fully on board with that. I really would.
When you see the openings coming up and you feel like there's a change of pace, right? Okay, let's put Blue in.
And not just that, you can really change see if one of the guys are not working so well as an RB2, you try change the concept of how you're approaching your office by switching to the other guy and see if that might work, because they can bring something a little bit more different, something more for defenses to think about, and
Yeah.
that could actually be the defining factor of winning football games this year.
Yeah, and I think that's the way it goes. The only way that this changes is if blue becomes adequate. It doesn't need to be exceptional, but adequate and the less glamorous side of the running back roles, pass protection, chips and all the rest of it. If he's adequate in that, then he becomes the more defined RB2. But it's whether that can happen, because he really adds, as I say, it's the awe to the shock of what Williams has. Like the two together, as long as Blue has come up, then that would be the case. If not, and he's not showing development in those areas, then the RB2 position then just it literally becomes a committee. That's in my opinion, anyway.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny that we've been kind of talking about running backs. I mean, for me, mate, there is another position I think we should kind of talk about in this episode, and that's tight end.
Yeah, tight end 2. I mean, Jake Ferguson, we know he's got this. Literally, he's got the position of the starting tight end lockdown. I think that's pretty obvious. Yeah, I mean he's a nice fantasy tight end pickup too.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, where the issue comes in, I feel like I know we've got the rookies Trigg and Rogers. I mean, they're both completely very different tight ends. Trigg to me is a guy you put in the slot. He's a receiving tight end that you start in line and you move him out to the slot.
What have I been saying about Michael Trigg? Is like, I'm not saying he is this particular player, but he plays like him, and that is Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
Like when you don't watch Michael Trigg's highlight reel, you would actually think he was more of a wide receiver than a tight end.
he does look that way, and I mean, like the way he was used in college, more particularly one team than the other, it kind of was a bit all over the place. But when he found his feet and he found his calling card, yeah, it was a big year, over 600 yards and a big handful of touchdowns. Where the issue becomes with tight end 2 is it's the Luke Schoonmaker effect. Some people are saying they feel, because this, and it's ironic, that it's a career year. So it's not a career year, but, contract year for Luke. So what do we always see with guys in contract year? They suddenly raise their bar. They explode.
The time, mate. Not all the time.
Not all the time. I'm just saying. So, like, what if he develops in?
Yeah, the general consensus players would try and play for that.
Play better.
Year.
Yeah. They want to explode out, even if it's whether they stick to the team or just so they've at least got tape going to other teams. So Luke Schoonmaker is the big variable, the big question mark, because you're like, we know the blocking profile. We know that. It's the receiving profile. He does, because you see it in Michigan on his tape. He can get downfield. He can get downfield for a guy his size in a hurry. Like his 40 time, I think, was something like in 4.60, right? For a guy his size, that's moving, right? The issue is we haven't seen it since he's come in.
Well, he's been injured quite a lot.
Injuries have played his part. Here's ironic as well, is whenever he's come to start training camp, he's one of the guys who's always on rehab. When you think back, this year, no injuries. He's coming in clean on a contract year.
That's ironic, isn't it?
So there is something there with Schoonmaker without a doubt, but where this becomes a hard question to ask on, do they keep him? Do they want to see what they've got? At least use him in his final year. How does that hinder Brevin Spanford, who we watched last year do a lot more with less? Yeah. And those seam routes, the seam route for Cowboys, when Span was on there, suddenly opened up. You were just like, oh, we've got a guy on. We're throwing seam passes all of a sudden in the red zone too.
Yeah.
So this is where it becomes tricky because sometimes this does happen too. It happens more often than you think. Is that you draft a guy, especially a second round guy, a day 2 guy, and you want to get that draft investment, that draft capital back. So you're like, no, you're going to be our tight end too because we've got to get that back off you. But what that can do is can be a progression stopper for the guys behind you on the depth chart. We've seen it before. It can happen with your starter, let alone the tight end two, or your second guy on the depth chart. So you kind of sit there going, how is this going to affect Brevin Spam-Ford if we don't? Because I think Ford definitely he's got the block in because you've seen that when they've utilized him on as an extra blocker. But he adds an element of the receiving game that's sorely missed when he's not in there, which is these seam routes.
And he's made some great plays this year.
He did. Yeah, I mean, like, it was all great. Go on, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, I still remember that bootleg pass to Span-Ford. I can't remember who it was against, actually, but I did think Cowboy Chris called it before the play actually happened. And he was on Cowboys Can Fan when he actually said that.
Yeah, that's right. I remember.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Like, and Span-Ford, to me, he has taken the biggest leap from last year. Without a
Definitely.
shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
In terms of the progression ladder, if you like.
Yeah, and Schoonmaker hasn't really like elevated at all. If anything, for me, I'd say it's been a bit of a decline because again, injuries play into a factor, etc. That's going to play a massive factor in terms of does the Cowboys really want to extend a guy that is partially there, like even though he is good at the run blocking, like as a tight end, pass blocking as a tight end, but and somewhat mediocre above average in terms of the passing, but we're not getting as much high production for a guy that you drafted in the second round.
Yeah, it's been very low.
That's my issue.
Yeah,
big time. Because you would like to think, because I'm thinking it from a business standpoint, like I would like to think I want to get as much in return on my investment. And as far as I'm concerned, if I was Jerry and Steven right now, I am not getting that much in investment. I don't want to extend Luke Schoonmaker. I don't.
Here's why I think that they won't, right? It goes hand in hand with what we just talked about with Brevin Spam-Ford. You've watched the development. This year now, give him a bit of a larger slice of the pie. Give him some more targets. Give him a bigger target chin. See how he reacts. Throw him in the deep end kind of situation, right? But you also want to see what you've got with Schoonmaker. So sprinkle some of that in and let the two figure each other out. Why I think Schoonmaker will not be extended. A, Brevin Spam-Ford looks like he's on the right trajectory.
Yeah, he's on the right path. Yep.
But the other factor is Princeton Fant right behind him. We haven't seen, I know you're like, but we haven't seen a lot of him. But I think they will utilize him quite a lot in preseason, Princeton Fant, to see where he's at. So I think what I think is that they're sitting there going, well, we've got Fant, plus we've got Trig. You know, we've got these guys. We're making a nice conveyor belt of talent behind them. What if we make next season, Ferguson's going to be around. We can just let it naturally end with Luke Schoonmaker. Brevin Spam-Ford becomes our tight end 2. Now we've got our tight end 3, which is a question now, but we'll let Fant and Trig battle that position out because we've got plenty there to play with. I think Princeton Fan is it's not the issue for Luke Schoonmaker. It's more that for the front office, they're sitting there going, we got our safety net. We don't really need if Schoonmaker becomes nothing this season, there's our conveyor belt.
Yeah, no, that's true. And Fan is pretty good at the blocking side of things for as a tight end. He is good at that.
He's the only tight end that we got in college that scored a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown.
Interesting. Never knew
Yeah,
that. Never knew
yeah,
that.
yeah. He was
Yeah.
in Texas. He was 1 for 1 touchdown in passing.
That's mental. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely, unless Streammaker can convert me otherwise, I am
Mhm.
out on the Streammaker train right now. I think, like, I need more from him.
Mhm.
Like, if I was the owner, the GM of the Cowboys, I'll be pressuring on Streammakers like, dude, if you really want that next big contract, you really need to step the hell up.
Yeah,
And so for right now, and obviously injuries suck. I get that, but that does play into a factor in terms of your contract negotiations. That is a fact.
best ability is availability.
Yeah, like if you're going to be injured half the time, then why should I give you X amount of millions of dollars?
Yeah.
Like
This
you're
is
not,
true.
because like it'd be different if you were playing all 17 games and you were actually balling out. Then you can actually come back to me and say, I want to be the highest paid tight end in the league. But in reality, Streammaker is obviously a second round draft pick. He's missed a bunch of games, not just in
Yeah,
one
yeah.
season, but
Mhm.
multiple seasons.
Yeah.
And he's had a few drop passes from there and there. Like it
Mhm.
hasn't been a reliable source at times.
Some
So
crucial drops too.
exactly,
Yeah.
Philadelphia, for example.
Mhm.
So there is moments where you can actually like tick off a deduction in terms
Mm.
of what you if you were to kind of approach Streammaker for a new contract. But I just don't think it is wise in that regard unless Streammaker completely flips 180, goes in the
This
other
year, yeah.
direction and really turns it up. But again, it goes back to your point, Mike. It's a contract year.
This is a contract year.
Players, yeah. So, but for me, like, mate, just overall, gently, I'm going to say it straight off the bat, right? Me, obviously, Ferguson, number one.
Mhm.
Spanford is number two.
Okay.
Then I've got the flex between Fan and Trig.
Okay.
So,
You don't think Schoolmaker's going to be involved in this at all? Or you beyond this year is what you mean?
I mean, for this year,
For this year, you think they're going to cut him
I think they will.
or trade him? Yeah.
I don't think they'll trade him. I think he'll be a post-June cut. I think.
Okay. No, that's fair. And, people are saying, you're talking about the tight end 2 position. Is it really that important? What I
Oh,
will say,
without a shadow of a doubt,
yeah,
yes.
like the tight end position at the moment it's not the forgotten position. The way the game is played at the NFL level at the moment, the tight end position is the hardest one to defend at the moment because it's just like, what are we doing? Which is why, you look at like San Francisco, Kansas City, their tight ends, they ball out so much because they are good at the position. But in general, it's a hard position to defend. If you're good at it, like we go back to Jason Witten, you look at a guy like that,
And look at the
completely
guy.
transforms.
Yeah, and look at all the guys you had behind him: Escobar, Hanna,
Mm.
Jarwin. Like,
Yeah, Blake
like,
Jarwin, yeah, remember that one?
yeah. So he's had a number of guys playing tight end number two, like, so, and obviously
Bennett,
when
Matt Atlas Bennett.
I totally forgot about it. And obviously
There
he went on to do amazing things for other teams like the
you go.
Bears, etc.
Mm,
So,
mm.
like, and let's be honest, I mean, in terms of Matthias Bennett, remember, was he not originally a basketball player at one point, or am I thinking about someone
Oh,
else?
you're thinking of the San Diego guy. I forgot the San Diego Chargers player. I forgot his
Rico
name.
Gavers.
You're on about that guy. Oh, yeah. No, what was he? Yeah, he was basketball, wasn't he?
He
Was he
was.
back?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
he was.
And that was a terrible experiment. Yeah, I thought I was on about somebody else. But yeah, I mean, like a good tight end will transform your offense completely. It's crazy. But you can wrap all this up again in a bow with both RB2 and tight end 2 because we've forgotten about one guy in particular, Hunter Lipke.
Hunter Lipke, to me, he's still going to be part of this roster because he
100%.
he is literally the Swiss Army knife of our offense. Like, even if we're playing like split back formation,
Yeah.
you're guaranteed Luke is going to be in there to kind of drive in the wall to help with the running game. And also, when it comes to the passing game, you can use
good catcher.
He's a great catcher, Luke. Very underrated. I know he comes from a school that we're not really too fond of, which is North Dakota State.
Yeah.
But there has been some great players that have come out of that play. I'm not saying the last person that we brought in was great.
Okay.
But obviously Luke is the exception in that one.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he gets enough credit for how
I totally
good
agree.
he is. Yeah.
I totally agree. I think I just wish we kind of do utilize him that little bit more,
especially in receiving game.
Oh, 100%. Because there's moments where it's like, look, he is wide open. Why aren't we throwing the ball to him? But that's whether it's a play decision, the design of the play, or it's just a bad decision from Dak. Always try to go for his number one.
I think it's the play. I think it's the design. But get some Spider 2Y banana in there and get him the ball.
Yeah. Honestly, I want more Hunter Luke K in my life. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do.
He's got wheels too when he gets going.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you do watch his highlight reel back in college at North Dakota State, he was an absolute machine.
Yeah.
And the fact that I still couldn't believe and I still remember back in the days when we were doing the mock draft all those years ago when Hoopke was available, he was always our last pick. Always in those mock drafts.
Yeah.
Because we understood the value of the fullback position of what it can bring. People tend to traditionally think fullbacks are the guys that are going to be those blocking guys are going to help open up the gaps in the run game. Not necessarily. You've seen the evolution of the fullback position over the course of the years with some other players, like the guy that was in San Francisco. Juszczyk, is it Juszczyk?
Yeah,
his name
Kyle Juszczyk, yeah.
You saw the evolution with him. He's not a running back. Yeah, it's a fullback, but you saw what he can do in terms of the run and passing game and blocking. It's essentially as like another tight end, but just in a different aspect of where you're positioned in the offense.
Yeah. H-back and carry the ball. I mean, yeah, I think I'm with you. Lipke makes the final roster with that. The best way you put it is
and special teams as well. Special teams.
And special teams, he's not bad at.
Yeah.
Like we say, because he's got wheels. You know, when you see him down there.
He can hit. He can hit.
He can lay the boom.
Like when he's actually on the receipt, like in terms of actually
defending
on kickoff and on punt, if he's on there, he can actually hit. And even when it comes to on kickoff return, and if he's on the actual blocking side of it, he can block.
Yeah. So, and more you can do. But like in terms of the other running backs, we missed over them. I think Dominic Richardson, who's the undrafted free agent they signed, I've done a report on him, and for me the issue is the athleticism. Like his 40 time, like it's in the name of the position, running back. That you want your running back to have at least some level of speed to him, but this guy, he's almost close to 4.7 on the 40-yard time.
I'm sorry, mate, but I have to disagree with you. People said that about Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, though, I'm sorry, he's not built like Derrick Henry.
I know, but for a running back, you can run a 4.7.
When you go watch Richardson.
I know, but okay. Well, tell me this then, mate. What is Richardson's actual physical measurements? How tall is he? What's his weight?
Let me get his RAS score a minute. I did have it before, but his RAS score was poor as well. Mine. Fill the noise a minute while I find it because it is. Yeah, I've got it. I've got them all saved on my files because you know what I'm like. I don't let nothing go. Well, so he had a RAS score. First of all, he had a RAS score of 620, which still it's way below average.
Maybe it was below average. Yeah.
His size 200 pound, and he's 5'11".
Okay, right. That's okay. From that point of view, then yeah, you can actually argue that that's pretty poor.
Yeah, it is 20-yard split for a guy that size. Is 20-yard split. This is insane. His 20-yard split was 2.8 seconds.
I'm sorry, but at the same time, we're just focusing on a guy that was undrafted. You're not going to expect
No.
absolute waterworks here.
But this is my point. I don't think that when people are watching this, they're going, well, what about the undrafted guy? The athleticism, the change of direction as well. You know, you look at his shuttle times. I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't even see him making. I know they got Israel as well there, the other guy they picked up before the draft. Yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see on him.
Yeah. Well, folks, let us know what you think about the running back 2 position and the tight end 2 position. We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions here on the World's Team. But before we do go, Mike, please tell everyone where everyone can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter or X at Kenfig Cowboy. That's Kenfig with a K, Cowboy with a K. And you, Mr. P?
You can find me at IamP2 on X and Instagram. All right, folks, that is the end of this episode. Next episode, me and Mike are going to take more of a deep dive in terms of what our defense is going to shape to look like, what has been the improvements, etc., etc. I mean, in fact, Mike, you're probably better explaining what we're going to be talking about because you're the one that outlined it for me.
Well, basically, looking at the whole thing from the coaching, the staff, to the additions, plus the losses, basically, has the defense improved is the question.
Yeah, and no, we're not just talking about on paper here, folks. All right, folks, that is the end of the episode. We hope you guys have, well, I was going to say a lovely weekend because today is Sunday, but we hope you guys have a lovely week ahead. Stay safe out there, and like as always here on the World's Team, it's not just America's team, it is the World's Team. We'll see you guys next time.
That's a wrap on the World's Team Podcast. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, Cowboys Nation. This ain't just America's team, it's your team. Touchdown! It's the World's Team, only on Believe, where real fans live.
How about them Cowboys?